Welcome, welcome. Hey everybody. Welcome to tonight's webcast. It's October 10th, 2016. We first have to say how sorry we are for our whole eastern coast. Boy, I'll tell you something. There's really, and we have so many customers in through there. We just really, our heart goes out, and many of our customers cannot possibly be watching tonight because they don't have any power. They're still out of power and probably will be for another few days. But we're really thinking of them. You're in our thoughts, and we really actually had a workshop. I was supposed to leave Thursday for a workshop in Miami, Friday and Saturday, or not Miami, but it was in Miramar, Fort Lauderdale area, and obviously the Miami airport closed. I did not go. We postponed the workshop for 2 more weeks. So we'll be down there. It's just we'll wait till everything dries out a little bit. And I think it's just those hurricanes are just so weird. I grew up with them. I grew up in Miami, and they just change and go different things, and it's so hard to plan around them that you have to really just plan for them to hit and then hope they don't. That's really the goal. But we're really thinking about you. South Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, the whole coast in there, and we hope you all are safe and dry someplace, no matter where that is. So just a couple things I wanted to touch on tonight before we get going. Tonight we're going to talk about our pattern of the month, 3414. I had so much fun with this pattern. I hope you have as much fun as I have. But there's a couple questions that I get repeatedly. They're more business questions, really more than fitting questions. The fitting questions seem to be resolved mostly through the webcast, and I don't really get that many fitting questions. They're more business questions, so I think that's really interesting. The first one is about PDFs, and can we send the pattern via email in a PDF? And yes, of course we could. It's not the problem that whether we can send it. Our concern is that you will receive it, or what you will do with it once you receive it. And it's not that we don't trust you. It's not any of those type of things. It's really, we have Silhouette Patterns gone to great lengths and great expense and great efforts to assure our end user that you will be successful with this product called Silhouette Pattern, whether it be a top, a bottom, whatever. We want you to be successful, and we make great strides to make sure you're successful. So if you notice, we wholesale the product very little. It's in a few places, very little. I get calls every day. We want your patterns. We want your patterns. No, no, no. I'll put them in a store that has a spiffy. We'll put them in a store that's a large store that you would know of us if you knew of them. We'll do a few things like that. But the whole goal is to help you make sure we can communicate that help is here. Because many of our users in the past, when we sold patterns at a trade show, they bought them at a trade show, they went home, they didn't have the correct knowledge to make those patterns successful, and of course they said, oh, we'll never sew with another Silhouette pattern again. We're trying to help you understand that if you're not successful, we're not communicating well, and that if we just increase communication, you'll be successful. That's kind of our motto. So anytime we send a PDF, and it means you have to print it out and you have to piece it together and you have to do all those things. The idea of you all doing that just makes me crazy. Tracing even makes me crazy. You all know, because I see so many mistakes in the tracing process. So I'm afraid of that same thing when we go to a PDF. We emailed a PDF. It was a facing. It fit on one size. All you had to do is print it out full size. I can't tell you how many mistakes we had with that. Someone said the facing didn't fit. I said, did you print it out full size? I don't mean 10 of these emails. I mean 100 of these emails of printing out to the wrong size. So the idea of emailing a pattern again drives me absolutely crazy. So the technology is not here yet where I feel like we could do this successfully. We're growing all over the world. Women have said to me, but we could get our pattern without paying the extra shipping. We don't even charge any extra shipping. When we send to Australia, Switzerland, all the places that we send to, we do not charge any extra for shipping on patterns or DVDs. The only thing we charge extra on shipping is fabric, because the price of the shipping is more than the price of the fabric in some cases. Some women, no problem, we're shipping still, and everybody knows it. We've put it up on the fabric page. So there's times where we've shipped a fabric from Italy back to Italy, and I think that's kind of fun. But just know that PDF in that format, we're not ready to do that. And we are watching the technology. I hope you all know that. And as soon as it's ready, or as soon as the home sewer has some type of printing device where she can print it accordingly, we can do that. Currently, if you take a pattern and go to Kinko's or some printing place and ask to print it on large paper, it's well over $20. So that's not a savings, and that's not what we want to do. The other one I wanted to talk about was grading. So many of you have said to me, well, I'm larger than the largest size, and equally as many, I'm smaller than the smallest size. It's very easy to look at the differences between the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, or the 4, the 3, the 2, the 1, and go down and make a 0, or go down 2. You just look at the difference by how much you want to go down, how much you want to go up. So if you're looking at size 5, 6, 7, 8, and you want to make a 9 or a 10, let's say you want to make a 10, I would take the 8, I would go down 2 sizes, and go up 2 sizes, go up that same amount, do exactly everything that's done between the difference of the 6 and the 8, you'd go to the 8 to the 10. So you can, and there's enough tissue around it, you can completely draw your own sizing right on those patterns. Almost in every pattern, we're packing in about as much tissue as we can get in that frickin' envelope. So, we can't increase the sizing on either end. It just can't happen. Same with cup sizing. We can't go. Having said cup sizing, I want to mention to you that cup sizing and bra sizing, even though we use the same B, C, and D, it's not done the same. So while they would use the same, a D cup, a triple D in a bra, is still, the D is going to be adequate. A G, H in a bra is still going to use the D cup. So while it correlates somewhat, it's not calculated the same, but you'd still use your same numbers. Okay, I hope that helps. And sometimes it's so interesting to me. You all are learning, and I love it, and you want to know more, but you ask questions sometimes it would take me a long time to explain the answer, and you don't need it. And again, it's not that I don't appreciate your curiosity, it's just I don't have time to do it. I just don't have time to explain all of your curiosity. Okay, so having said I wanted to cover those two things, let's open it up to you guys for questions. We'll take a little more time and then we'll start into our lesson. We're going to talk about October PoM. Okay? Hi Peggy, I love the top you made from 4015 Sophia's dress. So do I. I love wearing it. I love the fabric. I love everything about it. So thanks. Would the fabric required for the shorter length still be 2 yards? No, you could do it with 2 yards. I mean, still be 3 yards. I'm sorry. I was already thinking my answer. Still be 3 yards. You could do it with 2 yards. I know I did it with 2 yards because every time I make something that I'm doing differently, I always cut off the yardage first. I don't just leave it on the bolt, so I know how much I'm using. That 4015, that short for top, is adorable, and I think that's why when I put up a pattern of the month that's a dress and people come back to me and say, I don't wear dresses, I kind of cringe because leggings are so popular and these short little dresses, obviously tunic tops with leggings are adorable, and I've worn that top all over, and the compliments are just non-stop. I mean, I was on an airplane last weekend and I wore that with my leggings, and I mean, even flight attendants, everybody was just making comments walking down the airport. Where'd you get it? Where'd you get it? Where'd you get it? Anyway, so it's done very well, and I love it, and it's so comfortable as well. So anyway, hope you see it. 4015, I had it on. I guess I had it on in the Thursday webcast, the Thursday little mini webcast last week. Okay? That's when it was, yeah. Alright, I love the top you made out of Janae's pattern. On your website, the fabric you used was 4 ounce. Is that a lightweight, medium weight, or heavyweight knit? It's a medium weight. A lightweight knit would be a 3 ounce, like a rayon, and 6 ounce would be like a pontoroma. So a 4 ounce would be like a medium weight. And I love it too. And there's, again, so many of that Janae's dress. I just love that as a top. Cute as can be. I've worn several of those, and I just really like those as well. So think dresses are just long tops. You got to think that way. Could 3014 be used for a knit as well? Yes, I'm going to show you it in a knit tonight. I actually made up I made up 3 versions and 2 are knit and 1 is woven. So and really what I want to do in 3414 tonight is talk about the fabrics and how the fabrics make such a difference as to how the pant presents itself. So I did want to talk about that. When you use fold over elastic on the neckline, I don't have it here, do you stretch the elastic or apply 1-to-1? You definitely stretch the elastic and not 1-to-1. If you do 1-to-1, it'll have a tendency to kind of flute around the edges a little bit. Don't do that. You've got to stretch. You just don't stretch very much. It's not a lot at all, but it has to be a little bit. You know, that's just really a non-scientific answer. I totally get that. If I was going to do a neck edge of 20, I would probably cut the fold over elastic like 18. Maybe even 18.5. So you see it's just a little bit. It's not a lot. It's not like ribbing because you just don't want to stretch it. You don't want to stretch it. Okay? Have the PoMs been mailed? I haven't received mine yet. No, every month the PoMs will go out on the 10th of the month. Today I realize is the 10th of the month, but today was Columbus Day. The post office was closed. We didn't feel like it was right to back it up all the way till Friday, which was our last work day, which was the 7th. We felt like that was too early because PoM club members still have changes coming in. So they'll go out in the morning and you should have them end of this week. Okay? Thank you for not forcing us to buy the PDFs. No, I mean, you guys, look. If we were talking just economics, we would force you to buy the PDFs. We could save a bundle. It's not about, you know, although everybody knows money is important, money is not what we started this about. And certainly to educate the sewer and to make sure the sewer has success with her product in minimal amount of time, because time is money, those things are really most important to all of us at Silhouette Patterns. We're all on the same page with that. Hi Peggy. Hi everybody. I'm interested in a workshop in Buffalo or Detroit, close to the Canadian border, so I won't have to travel too far. Do you ever have workshops there? I don't. I go to Chicago. I think that would probably be the closest. I go to Boston. My problem is that I have more workshops that I have time for. I don't mean that, but the ones that are where they are, we're not adding in any more cities. So right where they are, just find one that's closest to you. Chicago is right over the border, isn't it? I think it's right up there. Yeah, it's not like Detroit. It's not that close, but it's Boston, Chicago. Across the top, there's Denver and Portland. You know, are across the top, and then we go kind of through the middle, and then we go through the bottom. So we tried to go like 12 places throughout the country, picking them the most strategically. I considered airport traffic, how easy they were for people to get in and out, because there's a lot of people who fly all over. We do the cold ones in the summer and the warm ones in the winter, because I don't like cold. And of course, you know, here we are in South Florida in October, which it's perfect weather. We just didn't anticipate a hurricane, so I messed up on that one. But anyway, 2 more weeks, we'll be there, and we'll have our workshop there. So if you feel like it's getting cool up where you are, come down to South Florida. We've got some space. How do you change the 475 Judy's Blouse shoulder seam width for smaller shoulders? It has a princess seam. Could you show us how, please? Yes. Let me just kind of really quick, since I don't need these papers anymore, I'm going to cut 2 pieces of paper, and I think that you'll get it from these 2 pieces of paper. Okay, so I'm assuming that when you say smaller shoulders, you mean narrower shoulders. If we refer to shoulders as a width, then we'll all be on the same page. So let's just say that this is the 2 pieces, and this is the centerpiece, and this is the side panel. You're not even going to touch this. This is the one you're going to touch, and you're going to come in here and reduce it and just taper to nothing. And so that will, once you take that away, bring the shoulder in the width you need it to without touching the armhole, anything else over here. You'll just go to this panel, take off what you need, and taper down to nothing. Don't change this. Easy enough? Okay. Could you explain the difference between French darts and regular darts? I've never seen anyone cut them out like you do. Still learning here. I clearly did not make up or create French darts. I would love to have that claim to fame, but I did not. And it wasn't the French either, I'm sure. It's just the French dart, by definition, is when the bust dart and waist dart are combined in a seam in the lower third of the bodice. Now, that definition obviously has been, you know, kind of watered down maybe a little bit, but the French dart still, and when I say watered down, it doesn't really matter that it's literally the third of the side seam. It could come from the bottom of the garment. If the dart is large enough and it actually comes to the hem of the garment, it can come from the hem, not a problem. But when the bust dart is moved down and the waist dart is moved over and they are combined in one dart, that is what the French dart is. The French dart, because it's a large dart, it has to have a long running distance, otherwise it won't lay smooth and it won't sew smoothly. So to put the waist dart up at the bust, it would be too much dart in too little space and it would never lay flat. To put the bust dart at the waist doesn't give the control that it does coming from the side seam, because it's taking away from the side seam. So clearly the French dart is a win-win situation. Because it is a large dart, they don't leave the fabric in there. They take the fabric away and add a seam allowance. And therefore on all of our patterns that have French darts, those are actually cutting lines and they have a seam allowance included, which has caused much confusion because you don't know how far to stitch. And I see women come into workshops and their darts are way down here, but that's what the pattern said. Well, yes and no. No, it's not, but I don't argue. We just stitch it up farther. So also with a French dart, the beauty of it is you don't have to raise or lower it. If you want to stitch it up higher, you just keep stitching. If you want it to be lower, you stop stitching sooner. So it's a very easy dart to work with. Once you understand it, it's a great dart. Also, when you're sewing it, instead of sewing 2 darts, you're only sewing 1, and you get the same fit with the 1 dart that you get with the 2. So it has many, many advantages. Armani used it back in the 50s. I saw it coming back in some of Armani's clothing, and I just started going with it. It fits so well. It's so beautiful. Obviously, I have on 195, and the French dart is here. It's so non-visual that it's a home run. Everybody loves them, and they're really a home run. Okay. I want to make your cape pattern with fleece. Will that work? It will. Is there anything special needed to do with the fleece? No. No, it will work really well. Well, you know, fleece doesn't need to be finished, so not that you can't finish it, but it seems like it would really simplify a lot of the process. I think it'd be great. Capes are everywhere for fall, you guys. There's just some wonderful, wonderful styles out there. I have larger upper arms. Many times I need to add a diamond-shaped gusset under the arms. Well, you don't need to. You're just not understanding how to get it. So hang on. How can I adjust the pattern to accommodate my arms? I love the Dart DVD and your patterns. Thank you. A gusset, I think, some time ago we were talking about, and I mean like a couple years ago on webcast, we were talking about gussets on the inseam of women's jogging pants. And I really appreciate y'all's feedback. I said I cannot imagine what the advantage is, and the advantage is that it takes away seaming and puts it in more comfortable places if a woman's riding a bicycle or something of that nature. It takes away a seam right underneath the crotch and it distributes that seam into 2 different places. That makes sense. But there's no advantage for mobility by putting that gusset in there. So I want you to think that a crotch and an armhole are really the same thing. They're both curved, they both have something attached to them, and there's no advantage in having a gusset. It's simply that sometimes we don't know how to fit it, and so we say, okay, let's do a gusset. What I'm going to suggest is we have a DVD called What's Up My Sleeve, or I think What's Sleeves DVD. What's up my sleeves? That goes through every part of sleeves and armholes and really helps you explain it, get it, fit it, everything. I mean, it really, because so many of us have issues with armholes and sleeves. You're not alone. It's not because I don't think you, I mean, I think when they are heavier and your upper arms are heavier, it causes more of a problem, but you'd be surprised how many women out there, you know, they have one size bust and one size arms. They just kind of don't go together. And this allows you to take this part and combine it together. So it's called What's Up My Sleeves. What's up your sleeves? All right, hopefully that will help you. But don't be afraid to ask me questions as you go along. Again, it's communication, you guys. That's what I'm big on, and that's the goal, communication. Pattern 1850 is called Quilted Jacket. There's no shoulder pads. There are no shoulder pads on 1850. I'm not using them. Do I just take the difference off at the shoulders? No. Before you ever look to see if you're going to take them away or add them, you've got to look on the back of the pattern and look at notions. If they're not on the notion list, then they're not in the pattern. So don't suppose that every jacket we do has shoulder pads, even though, yeah, I get it, I'm queen of shoulder pads. But 1850 doesn't have shoulder pads, so you should make no adjustment if you're not going to use them. If you're going to use them, then you've got to make an adjustment, but don't make any adjustment on the shoulder pads. Pattern 215, the neck is too low. Do I just shorten the pieces close to the center? No, not at all. No, definitely don't shorten the pieces. I would, we talked about how to do this. I didn't understand how it could be too low. Have you actually made it? Because when I crossed that neckline, when I made that, the pieces, it's not about height. Necklines, our bust points don't change according to how tall we are. Bust points are bust points and they're standard. So where that neckline is should be okay, and I was worried that something was being done wrong. If you've made it, email me and I'll kind of answer how to do it, but it shouldn't be too short or too low for anybody. I hate to say that generically, but obviously I watch that kind of stuff, and when I start taking necklines and making pieces out of them, if it's too complex to kind of change it, I won't do that pattern. I'm going to keep it simple. So let me know. Let me know. If you haven't made a muslin, I'm going to strongly suggest that you make a muslin on that, because I think you'll find it's not going to be a problem, the neckline. Okay. Since I am new, can you please explain how to join the PoM? Sure. Hi. The PoM is going to happen once a year. It's going to happen this December. We don't, because it's a yearly price, so we can't have people jumping in and out every month. So we did it in December, and we do it for the year 2017. So the cost is $99 or $109, I can't remember. Anyway, one price in December for all year long. And then what we did do is we opened up a June ability to join if you just want to do it the last 6 months. So there's only two options. One's in December, one's in June, one's for the whole year, one's for half a year. Keep in mind that the goal was to not, you know, have people jumping in this, you know, that's just too complex. We don't have one whole person running just the PoM club, which is what we would need. So to keep it simple, and that way what you'll do is you don't have to order the PoM. You're allowed 3 changes during that year. So if you have the pattern or you don't want the pattern for whatever else, you can just say, hey, I don't want that pattern, I want this pattern. Just email me first 7 days of the month, we'll switch it out, and then we'll send you the pattern that you want instead. You cannot choose any of the brand new patterns until that year has been gone through. That's the only restriction that we put on patterns. Okay, so I hope that helps. We've got a great PoM club. We know there's a lot of women getting the patterns, making the patterns. We love it. That's what we want, you guys. We don't want you stashing them. We know stashing is a part of it, but we want to keep the stash. So we started the Thursday webcast because we wanted to give you quick little fun projects that you could use great fabrics and make up something quick and easy, and this was last week's. And I love this shirt. Show everyone the back of your blouse from Let's Sew Easy. There we go. A few little slits across the back, and then our little crystals on the front. Yeah, it's fun. It's really fun. I just love the blouse. And again, because it's the first few times that I wore it, gosh, just amazing where you are that people will comment on your clothes, and it's just interesting. Anyway, there's times where I don't want to talk to anybody and I just put a bag over my body and just go to the grocery store. That works. But anyway, other than that, it's kind of fun. Okay, last question and then let's get to our webcast. If I make a, No, go ahead. If I make a blouse such as 600, if I need to make a bigger bust dart to remove the wrinkles after using a D cup, does it mean that I need to go down a size in blouse overall? No. It's really important. I can tell from that question that L, C, and D are not being separated. So L, C, and D sizing is C. Cup sizing is D. So if the wrinkles are C, then you go down. I'm thinking the wrinkles are D and you're wanting to go down in C. That's kind of what I'm hearing from reading that question. So be careful to separate out L, C, and D. Those are three different entities and I want to control each one independently so that I get the right answer to the right, to the problem. Okay? Okay. LCD, good DVDs to order are there's two. Fitting Yourself by Yourself is probably the best one I would do, or Achieving Great Fit Through Muslins, because I'm draping over and over and over on those two DVDs. Achieving Great Fit Through Muslins and Fitting Yourself by Yourself. Okay? Isn't it wonderful to have Brett here? Sorry. It's so wonderful to look over and see his hairy head. Anyway, okay, so let's get in with our pattern of the month. We have a topper, the great toppers that are going on, because I really wanted, I think sometimes as I think of a pattern, and this goes back to when I was doing a lot of trade shows, so many women would bring me a pattern and fabric and they'd say, look, I'm going to wear this. I'm going to make this. And I'd say, oh, that's wonderful. And what are you going to wear it with? Oh, I don't know. I haven't thought that far. And so I always kind of am pushing you to think outfits, think whole, don't just think individual pieces. I think it will really help you broaden your wardrobe. And we're going to kind of talk about that next time. We're going to talk about fall pieces that we can add in that will help broaden our wardrobe, but that's not tonight, that's next time. All right, so I first want to talk about the pant. You're not going to have a lot of fitting issues with this pant. This pant fits extremely well. It is the yoga pant, and y'all know you love this yoga pant. The yoga pant is 3400, this is 3414, except this is done in a woven. So I did a couple things. The first pant I did was in a woven. And I did this is a perfect black for this time of year. For me, when I use black, I love it to be, this is a twill. We have this on the site. The fabrics will all be up later. But what I did is it's a heavy twill, or not heavy, but kind of medium weight. I washed it in Coca-Cola. I wanted to kind of talk about that a little bit tonight because we have so many new viewers. So many of you don't know about Coca-Cola. When you've got a fabric, a denim, any fabric, and it's a little heavier than you want it, and you want it to soften up it a little bit, throw it in the washer, throw in a can of Coca-Cola. No Pepsi, no diet, Coca-Cola. I have a front loader, I use 1 can. If you have a top loader, you're going to have to use a quart. You're going to have to use more. No soap, you don't need it, it'll wash it out. But I wish you could feel the difference of this before and after one time. It is absolutely incredible. It's like a completely different fabric. So this time of year for me is great to wear a black twill because we're not into fall. It's not winter. It's not cold, but I want to wear something long because I just want a little bit of warmth. So this is the perfect fabric for this time of year, and it's just a great weight. Then I washed it actually twice. I washed it before I made it, threw it in the dryer, and then after I made it. And I love it. Now what I did on this pant, I left all the gathers, I put on the pockets. I wanted the nice big pockets on the back. It has a little faux fly here. I did all of that. But I wanted to slim the leg because it's a little heavier fabric, a medium weight fabric. I wanted to slim the leg a little bit. So I want to show you how to slim this leg. what I did is the bottom of this hem, and it says on the back of the pattern, is roughly 22 inches. So 22 inches is a pretty, it's not a, it's bell bottom. It's really almost bell bottom. So, and especially depending on your height, you don't want too much circumference for your height. So what you want to do is go in and measure, and I measured a pair of pants that I really liked the leg on, and I measured the hem, and I measured the knee, and I measured the thigh. So I really wanted to slim this leg up a little bit. I wanted the gathers at the waist, I wanted the pull on, I wanted all of that. I just didn't want as much fullness at the leg, and I'll show you why. Because when I go to a different fabric, this is a black rayon knit, I wanted a big floppy loose leg because it's knit and it drapes down so soft. But when you go into a more firm fabric, too much leg is just too much. Alright, so having said that, I decided 16 was the circumference I wanted. So it was 11 and 11 gave me 22. 22 minus 16 is 6. And I have 4 places. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a back here too. So what I did is I actually just cut it out exactly like it is. I mean, you could not do that, but I just decided it wasn't like it was going to save me any fabric. I wasn't going to put that fabric anywhere else, so I just went ahead and cut the whole pant exactly like it was. Then with the grain line, the thigh was okay. I actually left the thigh like it was, but the knee I put 2 points, and then at the bottom I realized that I was going to cut off 1.5 inches here and 1.5 inches here, because my 6 divided by my 1, 2, 3, 4 places gave me 1.5, 1.5, 1.5, and 1.5. So then I did the same thing with the knee, and then I just simply took it off up to there, and I did the same thing here. I took it up and I took it off to the crotch, and that gave me exactly the pant I wanted and had visualized in my head. Very simple to do. Both sides of the grain line is where I want to narrow it, and I want to do this before I make the pant. It doesn't affect fit. This is all styling. Everything from the crotch down is styling, so I just wanted it to make sure that I knew what I was going to get. And I want to make you aware that that 22-inch leg, I love it, I'll use it later, but not for a fabric that's got a little more direction and weight to it. I love these. You'll see them on me. They're adorable. They're just cute as can be. And as we know, black is really slimming. So what I did is I wanted to make a little grouping. And lately too, when I travel, I really feel really free when I travel if I don't have to check luggage. So I really want outfits that kind of work together so that I can take just, maybe 1 or 2 pair of pants and then several tops and make the whole thing work together. And so that's also what I'm always considering when I'm making something. I want to stop on fabrics just for a minute. I want to jump to fit, because when we're talking, now this is the other pair I made, but I want to talk about fit just really quick with this one. Most likely you'll only have one place that you'll have to change for fit, and that's right at the hip line, and that's right at center back. I didn't have to make any changes. Most don't have to make changes in workshops when I drape this pant on them, but if you make a muslin, or if on the yoga pants you find that you have to make this little dart right here, it tapers to nothing at the side seam, go ahead and make this same little dart right at the hip line, and it'll pull up the bag that's underneath the leg. Okay? If you've got a bag underneath the leg, it's not circumference, it's because the fullness of the pant is hanging down too far and it's hanging down below the bottom. So just be aware of that. Okay, so now, and honestly, when it comes to fit, there's just not a lot of fit issues you're going to have, but I am concerned that the circumference of that leg in different fabrics needs to kind of be paid attention to, and that's why I'm kind of spending some time talking about it. Alright, so now this is a knit, and I had come across the pair of pants in a store, and they were this print. They were just so similar to this. This is a print knit, and I fell in love with them. I tried them on. They are wild, and a lot of times with long-time customers, especially there's one in Boston, and we're always talking about getting her out of her box, her closet that she's in. We want to bring her out of the closet because we have a tendency to stick to the same things. We want to broaden your scope and broaden what you like and broaden what you're willing to try, because there's so many fun things out here. So I decided I wanted to have wild cheetah pants. Okay. So I did this pattern the exact same as I did the black. I narrowed the leg because, again, the fuller the leg are, the more wilder they are in my mind. They're more flowy. When they're tapered a little bit more, they're a little more tame, I guess, is the way I look at it. So I still narrowed the leg on this one and made the elastic waist. And again, I love these. I'm not sure that you'll see me in these because I feel like I should be a little more businesslike when I wear these, but I guarantee you I'll have these on in the next couple days. I just really love them. So also, in making this pair and thinking that what's popular for fall is pantsuits are back, top and bottom matching. So while I didn't want to do a whole thing, it leads us back to this little jacket, which I'll get to in just a minute, but I want to first talk about the third pair of pants I made. This pair of pants is a black rayon. So when you go to take black rayon and you put it on the bottom, the beauty of black rayon is it has great drape and it's extremely slimming. It's wonderful. But if you make a tight, like a yoga pant out of it, it's just a little bit too clingy. And many women have said that to me. You know, I just don't want that cling. But if you do the Jags woven yoga pants, this is perfect for a black rayon or any color rayon really. But it's a thin pant, it's got great drape, they're full legs, but they drape thin, so it's a really wonderful look. And so I did a pair of black rayon so that I could mix and match whether I was wearing the black rayon or the black cotton, just depending on where I was going, where, you know, what I wanted to do with it. The black rayon to me is a little dressier than the twill. Even though they're both dark, they're both black, the rayon, it feels a little dressier to me. Okay, so with the pattern, any questions on fit or fabrics, either one? The brown sweater, you implied that it was copied from who? This one? This was copied from BB. B-E-B-E. Baby? 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 Yeah, it had crystals on the front that said BB across the front, but you know, I didn't want to do that, so I left that off. In pattern 195, I have too much fabric under the breast line. Under the breast line. Under here, you have too much fabric under here? That would maybe be a circumference problem. Well, if it's the dart, you'll only have two problems if it's the dart. You'll have a gap in the armhole here, or you'll have angular wrinkles underneath. The wrinkles are always angular. Most likely, anything other than those two things, so that's the shoulder dart and the bust dart, is probably circumference. Now, I'm saying that just as a general guide, but most likely. Decrease your circumference. You probably need a little more negative ease in a t-shirt. Would you use the same size in the knit that you would use in the woven for 3414? That is a great question. I forgot to answer that. No, I went down a size in the knit because I knew I didn't need the give. So I used two different sizes. Now when I say go down a size, I don't literally mean a size, but I used a size down because it was only a couple inches. So we've got enough sizes there that you can probably go down a size. But in the knit, I would use a smaller size than I would use a woven, period. Okay, good question. Thanks for asking that. Are you saying you used the same pattern to make all three pairs of pants, cotton, knit, and rayon? Yes, I did. I did. The only thing I did is when I made these, I took off the amount off the side seam that made it go down one size. So it's all graded through the side if you notice. I took off enough at the side to go down one size in this. The other two were all made the same. And of course I slimmed the legs. Except in these one, this is a wider leg. That's the 22 inch. That's the original in the pattern. Okay? What's the difference between the pants last month that was tapered and taking this pattern and tapering it down? The pants last month was Sally's pant, right? 3,200. Yeah, give us. I'm not sure what the pants last month. Just let us know a number if you don't mind. But if it was Sally's pant, which we had in a grouping last month, those are fitted everywhere. Those are darted at the top. They have a fly front. This is a pull-on elastic waist, but we just tapered the bottom. So just depending on whether you want completely flat all the way around or if you want to pull on. And it's just two different looks. And they're both really popular. They're both good looks. Okay? All right. All right, so I want to talk about the tops now because the tops are just so much fun. Don't ignore the bottoms because there's so much fun in the bottoms, but now we're going to have more fun in the tops. All right? Go ahead. Oh no, the skinny jeans, that's completely different. The skinny jeans are skinny. I mean, the skinny jeans are, you're pouring yourself into the skinny jeans. That's a completely different look. The skinny jeans, you're not going to wear a shirt that would show your pants because you're wearing the skinny jeans really tight. The skinny jeans are like leggings, but they have design to them. Is that fair? But they look like jeans with all the details. They're leggings with details. Is that a good way to say it? Yeah, there's a lot of difference, you guys. In the fit there's not, because I've kept the fit consistent. But you can't take still when you go in that much closer to the body, the angles all have to be much finer and much more detailed. That's why I say when you come out to something like this will fit really well because I've got them tight angles on them, but you don't need it. And I know that's probably hard for you to understand. You don't make patterns, but I keep the angles really tight on these pants, even though you don't need those angles to be that tight. And when I say angles, I mean coming out to the rear end, into the leg, out to the knee, all the way down the body. All right, so I'll hush up at that. Okay. All right, so let's talk tops. Can we do that? What do I wear with these? And so that was my concern, is when I have an elastic pair of pants on, what do I wear? So the first thing I went to was a blouse, and this is pattern number 300. Love this blouse. And you know, this blouse was one of the originals that we did like way back in the beginning of silhouette patterns, and it's so fun when you pick a classic pattern like this to see it come back so stylish, because there's three different views in this blouse. There's a ruffle neck, there's a tie that just loops over, and then there's actually a longer tie, which is the bow, which does exactly, I did the bow because bows are so popular, and I've never been a bow person, and I love this blouse. I think it's such a great marriage of fabric and pattern to me. The bow is soft, the shawl collar is soft. This is a Nanette Lepore fabric. I don't know the name. Again, we've got it on the site. But it's also soft. It's just such a great marriage of all of them. It's a little bit sheer, but you can just wear a little tank under it, or you could wear nothing and you can't see through it when it's against the body. But there's a couple changes I did that I wanted to tell you about that I love, the changes that I did. The front is a hidden button placket. That I didn't change. The front of this blouse is a hidden button placket. So you go through a folding process to get it to where the buttons come through behind a layer, and so it doesn't matter what buttons you use because they're not going to show anyway. But what I did do is I used the sleeve and the cuff from pattern number 900, the jean jacket, because in our line of patterns, and because we're growing, many of you may not know this, but anything that's under 1,000 is our blouses. Now, not our knits, but anything woven. All of those armholes and sleeves are interchangeable. They all fit one another. My mother gave me the idea so that you could take this sleeve and put it in this blouse, or this sleeve and put it in this blouse, etc., etc. So I took the 900, which is the jean jacket, Carol's jacket. I took the sleeve, and because I wanted a more, I wanted a cuff and a sleeve. I just wanted a more tailored sleeve. With all this softness going on, I really wanted just a little bit more of a tailored sleeve. So I did that at the bottom, and I love it. I just absolutely love it. So the sleeve is 900 and the rest of the blouse is 300. The only change I did was I switched out the sleeve. And it's really beautiful. It's just beautiful. Was there any question? My sewing machine is a Viking Topaz. Topaz? Topaz? It's a 50. Can I see that? It is a 50. I didn't know the difference. Is there a 30? Okay, it's a 50. I love the sewing machine. I really do. And I'm going to tell you something. I was cleaning it the other day because I kind of sew a lot. I was cleaning it the other day, and I remember one time in a workshop, this is kind of off the subject, but anyway, I remember one time in a workshop, this lady's sewing machine wasn't sewing right, and I said, well, you know, you got to kind of, do you ever clean it? And she said, well, I haven't cleaned it in a while. So I took off the foot and all that kind of stuff down below, and underneath her bobbin there was this little pad, and she said, well, what is that? I said, well, that's called dust. That's a lot of, she goes, oh, I thought that little felt pad was supposed to be there. Well, so I was cleaning mine out the other day. I had a little felt pad. There was that much dust in underneath the bobbin. So the bobbin can't work really well, and what happens is it's oiled down in there, and so it collects really quick and really easily. And I've been sewing a lot of, you know, fallish fabric, so don't forget every once in a while to just kind of clean that out. And I'm speaking to myself more than anyone. Can you use the 2-inch elastic for the waistband and the PoM? Yes, it is. This is all the 2-inch elastic. I didn't cut it down. That waistband on the PoM is the 2-inch white elastic. Yes. All right. Okay, so I'm going to put this aside, but I'm so excited to show you my little jacket because I just absolutely love this little jacket. So I'm going to put this kind of over here. We're going to send her goodbye. And you know, what do you wear with those wild, wild pants? I think you have to wear something that's just a little more not crazy. So I did this jacket, and this jacket is Becky's jacket, 925. I love this jacket. What I love about it is all the parts and pieces, and you know, you don't have to use them all. So what I did is I didn't really want a jacket because the pants are knit, because they feel more like just a real casual outfit. I wanted this to have a more casual feel. So what I did is I actually used my sweater set, you know, the same sleeve as what I have on. I didn't use a 2-piece sleeve that's with the pattern. So I left out those parts, and then what I did on the jacket is obviously I subbed in the black that's in the pants, you know, that's in these pants. So I used the black in these parts, and then I used the fabric in the top part. Now, because here it was really wild, I used this 4-inch black lace, and I just laid it on top. It's a border lace. It's really pretty. And I just laid it on top, both on the inside and the outside, and just stitched it together. And the reason I did that is because I wanted to wear it like with an open here. I didn't want to wear it closed like that. I wanted to wear it open, and when I wore it open, you could see the back side. I mean, it was the fabric, but I didn't want that. I wanted the lace. So I put the lace on both sides. I kind of sandwiched the fabric in between and just stitched the lace on all the way around. This right here is a little fold over elastic. I hope you can see this. Can you guys see this? It's so cute. This jacket is really cute. And it feels like a sweater. I know it's Becky's jacket, but it really feels like a sweater because what I did is I used instead of using the sleeve from the jacket, I used a sleeve from the sweater set. So I've got in the seam here, the side panel is the black. In the seam between the two pieces, I've got the fold over elastic. I just top stitched it. Then I put the lace on. The collar up here is the black fabric also that matches down here, and the band as well. So it was just fun, and you don't obviously have to do it like this, but I had seen a jacket at Neiman's, and it was black and leopard. It was very similar to this, and it had the lace. So that's what kind of gave me the idea of adding in the combination of textures, the knit, the woven, and the black lace. And I just love it. I'm telling you, it's so cute on. So what I did is I did a long top. So the long top is just Terry's top. I had already made it. I had it before. That's going to go over the elastic waist. It kind of cuts the color and the wild, and then the jacket comes in short. So you've got two lengths going there. You don't have to. You could have a little tank with this and just leave it at that and show this with the pants. But the top and the bottom matching for fall are really popular. So once I went wild with the top, you could go solid with the black, but I wanted to carry a little bit of it up in through here, and I just love the look together, you guys. I'm not sure where you'll see me in it, but you'll see me in it. Can you show the twill waistband up close? Yes. It is black, but I think you can probably see it. Is that close enough? You can see that's the 2 inches. Here's the faux fly there. Okay? All right. Okay, so then the 3 toppers, because again, I can wear this blouse with these pants or these pants. I can wear this top with either of the knit pants or these pants or the wild pants. So I can go wild if I want, or I can tone it down and go just black pants if I want. And then I wanted to bring in a top that was completely different that I could wear with either of the black pants. So what I did is I brought in Anne's top, and I love this. This is a denim cotton. I mean, it's not really denim. We called it denim blues. It's 100% cotton, and it's just a great top. And because the knit is so soft and the look of this pant is very casual, Anne's top number 115 was part of that great toppers. It's a great, I mean, you know, many of you have made 115. You guys know it's great as an outfit, and then I just wanted to put on a loose little belt over it just to bring it in and pull it together. And so that's the outfit that I can wear with that, or that, or that. I've got all these options. It's so much fun. So I probably spent more time making this little jacket, but I am really going to tell you, I just really, really like it. You could put buttons on it if you wanted to. I decided I didn't want to. I really just wanted the lace to stand by itself, and I loved how everything had such a vertical feel to it. So I left it alone. All right, so great tops. I mean, a great blouse, great little sweater jacket, and great Anne's top 115. Since you used the sleeve from 195, did you also change the armhole to match? Yes, this is a blouse armhole on this jacket. This is 900, so it's a blouse armhole. I used my sweater set sleeve, and I had to raise it up. It was just became a little bit smaller, and then I put the sleeve in it. Yes, absolutely. Anytime you use this sleeve, you use the armhole that goes with it. Perfect. Great question. Are we having fun yet, you guys? Terry's top number is 313. Now remember, after the webcast, we've always got a little page. And on the very front page of Silhouette Patterns, if you go down to the far right, it'll say, View our previous webcast. And if you click on that, it will have tonight's webcast with all the patterns and all the fabrics, the elastic, the lace, the notions, everything we use. So you don't have to like go find any of it. If you want it, it's there. If you don't want it, no problem, but if you want it, it's there. Okay? The goal is to make it easy for you. All right, how did you add the fold over elastic in the jacket? Is it folded over and then top stitch or sewn into a seam first? Yes and no. What I did with the fold over is it's right here, what was left. I tried it doing it flat, and it was too wide to take this curve. This curve, there's 2 princess seams in here. So, and the different pieces have, in this pattern, have different cup sizing. So this piece and this piece are both cup sized pieces. So this curve is too severe for this piece to be flat, it rippled, so that was not going to work. So I folded it in half, I pressed it in half just like it would fold over, and I laid it, and then I just zigzagged it on top, and it worked beautifully. You don't want to put a lot of stitching because you're stitching something that stretches on top of something that stretches, because I've got a stretch and a knit. It was not hard though. I serged this together first. I did not try to put this into the seam. I did not. You could. There's no reason you couldn't. I just laid it on top and just zigzagged right across it. And even this close, I can't even see the zigzag. It's just really well hidden. But I went ahead and went right across, and I laid it right onto the seam, right next to the seam. So very easy to do. On the lace, did you fold under the edges and just top stitch? No, I put the lace on first, and then this is going on top of the lace. Here, I just stitched that down. Both sides of the lace are finished. They're actually both finished with a scalloped edge. One is a little more extreme, but this is all finished. So there's no finishing that you need to do that. And the reason I use this lace is if you lay it on, it's like the same width as that piece. So it works perfect. As I went up here, I just cut it out to shape it as the same as the neck edge, and then just stitched it down and then folded it back. Very easy to use. And this lace is more like a netting, to where you can cut it and it's not going to fray or ravel or do any problems. So you can kind of cut and paste and put it wherever you want. Very easy to work with. Okay? Okay. Yes. For the blouse with the bow, did you use a two-piece sleeve from 900 or just the cuff? No, I did a two-piece sleeve and a cuff. And this fabric is a Nanette Lepore, so actually on the little bias binding on the sleeve, I made sure Nanette Lepore showed. Not that anybody would ever notice it, I just thought I would, name drop a little bit if I could. But I did use a two-piece sleeve, and I did use the cuff. I used 900 the sleeve exactly like it is. Can a placket pocket be successfully included in elastic waist pants? I don't know what a placket pocket is. A placket pocket. I don't know, but that does remind me, you guys, tomorrow is the last day for our pocket DVD. Tomorrow is the last day. $20. You guys will want this pocket DVD. We did not only the sewing, but the placement, the pattern making of all of these different kinds of pockets. I think there's every kind of pocket imaginable. It's a really comprehensive DVD. So tomorrow is that last day. It's only $20 plus your shipping, but $20. Does Becky's jacket have the band on the bottom? It does. Yes, it goes on. It's only like an inch wide, but it is and it needs it because I actually was going to make it and not put it on there, but it needs the weight. The weight holds it down, and it really is a nice finish to it. Okay? Are we having fun yet? Did I do it? Long sleeve. Terry's top has long sleeves. I just put a sleeve inside of a sleeve. But they're both knits, and so it was no problem at all. Oh, I just love this little jacket. I'm telling you, it's so cute. All right, so we are going to say good night. We're going to say that we will see you in 2 weeks, except we won't, because we have lots of fun things planned for the next couple weeks. But we will see you in 2 weeks. Yes, I didn't mean to say that wrongly. And thanks so much for watching, you guys. We really are. We just love what we're doing. We just appreciate that you love what we're doing. So thanks. So happy sewing from Silhouette Patterns. See you in 2 weeks. Good night.